What's up guys, it's Dan here. Welcome back to the Vivid Racing channel. I have a little surprise. This little key here, we are going to be doing a ECU tune and exhaust system on one of the latest Porsche vehicles. This is a 2020 Cayman T, which is one of their hot little new almost track ready race cars. And as you know how much I love my Porsche car, I am so excited to get this thing on the dyno and unleash power from the 2.0 liter turbocharged engine. But before we strap it down to the dyno and see what it does stock, let's have a look to actually see what this car looks like. So let's go check it out. All right, here it is. This is the Cayman T, the 718, which is the latest generation of the Porsche Cayman. This is a mid-engine vehicle with the engine just sitting right over the rear axle. And this is basically their track version of the Cayman. You've got the Cayman S, you've got a GTS, you've got a GT4. The T is that entry-level model, and it is ready to rip. Unlike most new Porsches that only come in PDK, Porsche did something with the Cayman T that pretty much all drivers want, and that is they included a 6-speed manual transmission. Yes! So you can actually feel what those downshifts are really like, doing the heel toe, ripping around the course. But besides the manual transmission, the Cayman T has other cool features in here. We've got the GT3 inspired pull straps, the very easy to use sport button, the sport chrono up there on the dash, all of the cool touchscreen stuff, Apple CarPlay, the exhaust button, also known as the goggles button.
Ready?
We've got the wing that goes up and down. We've got billet pedals. We've got red stitched seats with the 718 logo. This Cayman T is loaded. So what makes the Porsche Cayman one of the best vehicles in its class? Well, this mid-engine vehicle handles extremely well. So for those that don't want to shell out 150 plus on a 911 model, the Cayman is a great option for that. With the engine being just in front of the rear wheels, the handling is amazing. If you check out older Vivid Racing videos, we actually did a turbo kit on a Porsche 981 Cayman 7 years ago where we ripped this thing on twisty roads. All right, so there was a quick walk around of the Porsche Cayman T. As a Porsche enthusiast, I love the chance to drive every single Porsche that's out there. You can see way back there is my Porsche GT3 RS, and I love driving these different cars, whether it's the new Taycan, a Panamera, a 911 Turbo, even the GT2 RS I got to flog around. These cars are so much fun. So we've got this one here. It's going to get a VRTuned ECU Flash and one of our exhaust systems. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to get this into our dyno, do a baseline so we can see what our numbers are and where they're going to go. So let's get to it. All right, time to pull into the dyno, get this thing strapped down. I don't think you guys understand, this is a manual transmission. Most of you under the age of 20 or 25 don't even know how to drive one of these. And I'm lucky I remember too. But if you do know how to drive a manual, comment below, tell me what your car is, because I don't think you do. All right, the Cayman is strapped down. We're gonna do our baseline dyno test. From the factory, this has 300 horsepower and 280 foot-pounds of torque. The 6-speed manual transmission will allow us to rev out to about 7,500 RPM. So, for the testing purposes, we will do third gear pulls from 2,500 RPM to redline, and as we always do, we'll do 3 runs to make sure we got consistent results. Once those tests are done, we'll do the ECU Flash and run it again with the tuned file to see what type of gains we get. So let's jump in and run this car. So when we're gonna do the dyno test here, you might notice there's a bunch of crap everywhere. That's because we're actually redoing our dyno room here to look cooler. So excuse the construction, but what we wanna focus on is our testing here. All right, let's see what we got for results here. We are seeing about 275 all-wheel horsepower and about 275, 280 foot-pounds of torque. We are running the 718 on our Mustang dyno in all-wheel drive, because if you run it just in rear-wheel drive, you'll get all types of check engine lights and traction control issues. So you got to run these on an all-wheel drive dyno so you can get your results. No, the car is not all-wheel drive. The car is running 91 octane here in Arizona. It's about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It's pulling some timing around 5,300 RPMs. That curve dips and then comes back up. Inside the car, I saw 16, then I saw 18 PSI. It held, and then it spiked to 20 PSI and dropped down. So with all that, we've got 3 consistent runs showing our baseline tests. Now it's time to do the VRTuned ECU Flash and get this thing tuned. So let's get it. All right, here we are, new day. We've got the 718 T all dialed, got the VRTuned ECU Flash on and the new exhaust. So now we're gonna run it and see what type of performance and horsepower that we made. So we're gonna do our same thing, 3 runs, 2,500 RPMs to about 6,800 RPMs, so we can measure the difference. So here we go. Okay, we just finished all 3 tuned runs, so we've got a good average to check out compared to stock. Each one of these runs we did 2,500 RPMs to 6,800 RPMs, and we did in Sport Plus mode. So 3rd gear, let's go check out these results. Okay, just as expected, the VRTuned ECU Flash really livened up the turbocharged Boxer engine. Looking at the horsepower, we see gains across the entire RPM range, with the largest of the gains noticeable in the mid-range RPM. Here we're seeing upwards of 45 plus wheel horsepower. That is a massive gain. As we get further down the RPM range, the gain slowly tapers off as we see the turbocharger begin to operate in the upper end of its efficiency range. When it comes to torque, we're also seeing a very impressive increase throughout the entire mid-range RPM. Between 4,200 and 4,800 RPM, we are seeing an increase of over 50 wheel torque. That's foot-pounds of torque at the wheels that this Cayman is making. This increase in torque, especially in the mid-range RPM, is what's going to push you back into the seat as you rip through the gears. Remember, we're doing these tests here in Arizona on our Mustang all-wheel drive dyno running 91 octane. So our results will definitely be lower than someone running 93 octane in a different type of dyno, such as a dyno jet. But what we measure here is what the difference is, the delta. That's what's important. Overall, we're extremely pleased with the results, and there's no doubt that driving the Porsche Cayman T with the VRTuned ECU Flash will make for a much more exhilarating experience. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the tuning of that 718 Cayman T. Really cool car, and is that much quicker now with the new VRTuned ECU Flash. So make sure you guys leave a comment, subscribe, and as always, we'll see you at the next one.